watching an MLGA Network live broadcast. The only people for me are the mad ones.
The world is filled with the boring and the barely conscious.
The misery loves company.
But we don't have to live this way.
Jessica and I are here to talk to those the system rejects, to radicals and thought criminals.
The ones who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but push the boundaries of acceptable discourse.
Those who stare reality in the face and dare it to be different.
History isn't made by the timid, and fun is not had by the perpetually afraid.
We are the mad ones.
So let's get to it.
Welcome to the Mad Ones. I'm your 100% back to normal. My brain totally works tonight, and I won't be leaving this material playing for the outer reaches of space and time. This week, host Cam Harless, and with me as always is I'll have you know that she hit on her husband first and didn't wait around for him to say something. Hostess, Miss Jessica Green.
That's true. It's true. It's true. I did. I was very aggressive. I won't tell you what I said to him because it is not safe for work. But
NC-17?
It is, yeah. But I was not subtle at all.
So tonight we have one of our favorite guests. But before we do that, we want to say a very special thank you to those who make this show possible. So check out Zen Pro Audio, Burgett Dev Services, Lorenzotti Coffee with the promo code The Mad Ones, and OPSEC Drip. I think that's all of our sponsors for today. Do you know anything about OPSEC Drip? Have you paid attention to them since I
know that he resides in the same prison where John McAfee resides and gets his news out through John McAfee's butt phone. That's the only thing I know.
But other than that, he...
Hacking your show's a breeze after Friday's Colonial Pipeline hack. Totally not me. But it was the perfect cover for a much more important operation. The Mad One Sunday episode with Tetsui and Mean Girl Allie from Tennessee, it's gone. I got it. I took it. I'm not giving it back. As for Monica Perez, though, she's cool. Nobody messes with her. Totally not me.
He's got to stop getting away with this.
They got to take that butt phone away from him.
This is making me look bad at this point. But watch OPSEC Drip. It's the best 60-second podcast you'll ever listen to, period. But we need to move on. Joining us tonight is a guest who I believe has been on this show more than any other guest. Is that the X-Files theme song I hear in the distance? If not, it should be, because coming in from the West Coast tonight is the destroyer of propaganda, the Bane of Bilderberg, the annihilator of the official narrative, the Batman of breaking the news they don't want you to hear, and a very good friend of the show and someone we love, Miss Monica Perez.
It is such a pleasure to be here. I have to say, I always buckle my seatbelt before spending an evening with you guys, and this is no exception. He came out swinging. He got you right. Got you cold cocked you right coming out of the gate, Jessica. Then we get hijacked before we even said hello to each other. That's it. But I love the new intro, and I was waiting because this is what we expect with Cam. I was waiting for one of those things to slide out that I'm like, don't be saying stuff like that. Like I pushed the envelope already. I don't need you blowing me up completely. Just some crazy, like, haha, tongue-in-cheek, a horrible slur or something. But every single thing that slid by, I'm down with.
Nice.
I'm glad.
Every episode, by the way, I'm here for all of that.
No, I got it. I get it. Yeah. No, I know it's. Oh, you got to buckle your seatbelt. I don't know if you get other podcast aids. I'm waiting for someone in my house to bring me one right now, but just got
a podcast
aid. Exactly.
Generally, you have to be 21 to buy.
Exactly. Nice glass. Yum.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I like a nice whiskey glass to
Yeah.
drink nice whiskey.
I am an aficionado of fine glasses. My father, we were really, really not fancy. So he would just try to please drink his whiskey out of something that wasn't like a jelly jar. And we never had any that matched, but he used to call it an atmosphere glass. I need a little atmosphere. Could you see if there's an atmosphere glass up there? So it wouldn't matter what shape or size or anything, as long as it was not like a jelly jar. Literally, Welch's jelly jar was every glass we had.
So I bought some tin cup the other day, which is a Rocky Mountain American whiskey. And first off, I'm an idiot because it says cut with Rocky Mountain water on the side. And I was like,
Cut?
where the hell am I going to get Rocky Mountain water to cut this with? It's already cut with it.
Oh, yeah.
But the cool thing is, this is not the lid. This is a cup you can drink liquor out of.
Oh, because it's already cut a little bit. So what's the alcohol by volume there, buddy? What percentage?
Shoot. Let's look. 42% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, it's not cut
proof.
too much, right? So like isn't 40 is like the minimum standard alcohol? Is it 50% like water, I guess, undistilled? So yeah, okay.
Rocky Mountain water?
It's just Rocky Mountain water. Yeah, okay. Because the mash is water and like the grains and stuff, and that mash must be made with Rocky Mountain water.
Well, and how is it? They say it's pretty good. I have gotten so much more whiskey since we last talked because I'm a whiskey connoisseur now. You have no idea how many bottles of whiskey.
No more Screwball.
I do have Screwball. I just haven't drank it in a while.
I haven't had it yet.
Okay, so Screwball's weird, but let me share with you the weird thing I just got. What's that?
So while he's doing that,
do tell.
I was going to say I am of the class of people who also drank from Welch's grape jelly jars.
Yes, and it was a real thing. Like I don't know, they did it where the lid would pop off instead of twist off, so you could turn it into a jar. It would have like Scooby-Doo on it and stuff. But my dad, he was drinking Canadian Club, and occasionally he would have some Crown Royal, and he's like, I'm not drinking Crown Royal out of a Scooby-Doo glass. I mean, I will if I have to, but it would be better.
Sometimes circumstances demand that you drink liquor out of a Scooby-Doo glass, and we don't judge.
Emergency. Good thing that tin cup comes with a tin cup.
Right. The atmosphere.
But yeah, this is the one that I picked up the other day, Howler Head, because I looked at it and I thought, wow, good branding.
Yeah.
Pretty solid from the jump.
Gotta like that.
But I read it and I go, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with natural banana flavor. And I'm like, this is going to be completely 100% a hit or an all-out miss. Like there's no in between on this.
Right.
It sucks.
It sucks.
Don't try it. It's so bad. Maybe if I mixed it with the Screwball to make like a
peanut butter and banana sandwich, call it the Elvis.
Maybe. But on its own, no.
Does it have that like Laffy Taffy fake banana flavor?
Oh, I actually like that.
But it's not banana. You got to admit.
No, it's not banana. That's exactly what we said. We got ice pops like that. My husband and I were both like, these, is it that really fake? It's like tastes nothing like bananas. But
so interesting thing I've heard that I've never actually verified is that the banana flavoring that you taste in like Laffy Taffy and all of the candies is actually from an extinct version of the banana that was more widespread back when they made the flavor.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true, but I've heard it a number of times. So
it's very artificial tasting, but
this is propaganda. I feel this is propaganda.
Yes, it could be. it could be. Cam generated propaganda.
Yeah, this is big Laffy Taffy at work, and I want to know how much.
It might be Cam. Might be Cam fucking with us.
Entirely possible. More like that's the Occam's razor is that Cam is fucking with us.
I think so. And there is a liqueur. Is it Galliano? That's like a banana liqueur. There's only so many like specialty liqueurs you can have, but
right.
Oh yay! Thank you.
Well, for me, like
podcast aid arrived.
Yay!
Sorry, it is not peanut butter.
I am, when it comes to whiskey, it's neat. That's the only way I drink it. I don't.
And that's the tin cup stuff?
Yeah. Well, everything I drink, if I can't drink it neat, it goes in the garbage.
Does that mean
I
with
don't-
water?
No, neat is nothing.
Nothing.
Neat is nothing.
Pour it in a glass.
You
room
don't even put
temperature.
like
That's
3
what I
drops
want.
of distilled water because
Sometimes.
it's possible some of them, like a good old scotch that supposedly releases it. There's a book. I'm going to send you a book.
Well, what it does is it forces
It'll
the
be a
oils to
surprise.
come up to the top of the glass,
It's like an
and
emulsion.
it gives you a more
Yeah.
a stronger flavor. So,
Ah.
Well, then
Learning
I'm
a
going
lot
to
of
send
things
you the book.
today.
Fuck it. You
I
obviously
really
know.
like.
Can we
whiskey.
curse?
Yes.
I don't
It
curse
is
though.
encouraged.
She
I don't
doesn't
curse or swear ever.
Yeah.
Oh.
She doesn't
never
make
heard
blue
this.
jokes.
I just use vulgarity. No, I never curse or swear. I only use vulgarity.
Right.
So puzzle over that.
Right.
Well, I
Or in
mean-
the
I
audience,
will.
someone's gonna get it.
So did you guys see when there were those most recent spat of riots that this liquor store got raided? And if you look at what did not get taken, everything was cleared off the shelf except for all of the Chardonnay and all of the flavored Bacardi.
The
And I was
flavored
like, well, yeah.
Bacardi got left behind. Oh, so like
All of
women
it.
did not commit this crime.
Women didn't commit these crimes. No, your 50-year-old mom who loves her buttery Chardonnay.
Wine
she was
mom.
not a. Yeah, the Chardonnay is a mom drink for sure.
I can't
Um,
even. It's, don't like.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but it is the most popular wine with a very specific set of women, and they were not present at the riot.
It. This is my man Ken. Wait. Sorry, can't we read the comments? I'm just getting
Yeah, we
distracted.
can. Yeah, we
I'm
can go
such a
back. Which one?
professional. I shouldn't like have to read the. I always get annoyed at guests who like read the comments. I'm like, the comments aren't for you. Like, just keep talking.
Oh.
Focus.
In case you're wondering, this vape is got a big hole in the side of it, so it gets a
Mm.
lot of air.
Nice.
Don't worry about how, because he was worried about how
Yeah.
long of a drag I took off my vape.
What
well,
are
it's
you
busted.
vaping?
You know,
You don't have to tell me.
Flowers.
Never mind. I got it.
flowers,
But flowers that have been liquefied, right?
herbal,
No,
herbal
just
type
flowers.
of flowers.
Okay, but let me just
Like-
ask you a question about other vaping.
Yes.
Vaping is only after the thing has been turned into a liquid.
Okay.
In all cases, I'm asking the question. I've never.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know. This has a chamber, a little oven in it.
Yeah.
And you put the flour
Solids?
directly.
Oh,
Yeah, you put the
you
solid
know-
flour directly in there.
CBD flowers. I sometimes someone gives me a gift of CBD flowers. They're quite
I
lovely,
would
but I
love
don't
sure.
really
gifts
smoke.
of those.
Oh, really?
I would love to have those gifts.
I can definitely tell gift givers to pass them on to you.
I would be happy with this.
The idea here is that it's not heating it up to the point that like a lighter or a flame would, which is around 600 degrees. This one only goes up to, at its highest temperature, 425.
Interesting.
you're-
What does that mean?
You're only it's releasing water vapor, not necessarily burning. It's not.
Nice.
Boiling
Right.
the hell out of it.
Is
It's
that it's boiling it?
essentially boiling the hell out of the liquid.
Yeah, it's hot. It gets it hot so that the liquids inside of it turn to vapor, and then you.
Is
it as
that a
vapor.
specialty item, or is that some? What do you call that?
It's
particular
it's
type
a-
of pipe.
This brand is a Sutra Mini. It is called a vape. I don't know if there's a distinction between this one. You don't use with oil though. There's a little
Yeah,
oven
that's
inside,
cool.
and you just put your
Nice.
whatever your tobacco or whatever you use
Exactly.
Tobacco.
Flowers.
in there, right? And then I find that it's less harsh
Yeah.
as compared to like burning something with a lighter, because you get a little butane. It's a little bit cleaner this way. I hope.
understand. It's a whole new world. Who knew
But
legalized drugs meant corporatized drugs?
And I dropped it, and so there's a big hole along the side. That takes
the
in
hole isn't on purpose. Okay.
The hole is not on purpose. It just takes in a super lot of air. So I kind of just, make do. I'm poor. What do you want?
You have some tape?
Yeah, but then I can't take the top off because the top comes off like this.
Yes.
Right?
And where's the hole?
So
Why?
the hole is on the side of the mouthpiece right here. You can't
you
see
get
it.
the skinniest piece of electrical tape, maybe?
If I tape where it's broken, it will make it difficult for me to.
Come on, Jessica.
load
How
and
much
unload
does
it.
this thing cost? How much does this?
$100
Look at it. Cam's fancy one. Cam is a super fancy one.
It's only
this is-
$100. So
Oh,
I'm
it's
just waiting to get paid.
$100. Oh
Yeah,
no, that's a lot. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I thought
right.
it was
So
like
I'm waiting
20 bucks.
for the
He's like,
next
come on, I'm gonna float you 20. Go ahead. Go
No,
buy something to buy.
no. Oh, that's nice, Monica. Thank you. No, I'm cool. I have the
100 is
scratch.
too
I'm
much.
just waiting for the payday to
No.
roll through, and then we'll get a new one. But
No.
this brand is awesome, Sutra Mini.
Okay.
I know they're not an official sponsor,
Not
but
a sponsor.
I swear by the Sutra Mini.
You should
so.
tell them you want to sponsor their product.
I will. Hopefully, they
out.
don't find our podcast too uncouth.
She said use it as a carb. Use the hole as a carburetor.
I put my thumb against it.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, I'm experienced.
Elise, I hope your children aren't watching, Elise. Okay, Instacart. She's figuring out carbs on the fly. Yeah.
This is the Mad One's Vice Corner. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
My
if you want to
vice
learn
is
how
whiskey.
to,
Sorry, but
use
it's at
vape.
night.
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
You know,
That's
and it's
true.
just weird because everyone's gonna see it when it's not night, right? Like that's why I get worried when I have podcasts.
I went to a catechism class last night online.
Wow.
And when they saw this smile,
She froze when they saw the smuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened when they
She
saw
was
the
about
smuff.
to say that she looked like a professional and look.
Look, very
Look what
professional.
happened. Look what happened, Jessica.
I know.
microphone, they were all. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Hello?
You're good now.
Okay, so
We're back.
I had this. Hi.
That was
I had this
God, just so
microphone.
you know.
The Lord is trying to stop her.
Yeah, whatever
He's
she's
doing-
about to say,
he's
she's
doing it
taking
now.
lightly that which is divine. And she's gonna get in trouble for it.
At least her poop face is pleasant. Because
Yes.
she has this
I
theory.
know the theory.
Okay,
I know
good,
the theory. Totally.
Good. It's a pleasant
She-
poop face.
She looks like she really
I know.
enjoys a good poop.
I don't know what's going on the other end of this, but hey, it happens. Internet is wild. So yeah, I think my favorite whiskey that I've bought in the last 3 or 4 weeks has been Michter's bourbon.
Really?
It's very good.
I've
if you
never
like-
had it.
If you like Irish whiskey
I do.
and you have some money, like if you want to spend some money on it,
I spend money on
Redbreast 12
booze.
is so good.
12. Don't throw away stuff you can't drink neat. Make a nice whiskey sour. I'll tell you how to make a
Well,
whiskey sour that's worthwhile.
I say that I throw it away, but it's all in the closet.
I
with
know,
all
but
the rest of my 40
you can
bottles.
bring it out of the house. Sometimes, sometimes if you're having a barbecue, whatever, you have kids to run around, you can't just
You can't give
every
the
time you
kids, like,
thirst.
piss
No.
beer.
No.
You have to give
I'm
them
not saying
the hard stuff.
don't give the kids the whiskey sour. You should think of the whiskey sour as a lighter option when you have, I don't know, a little more responsibility. Oh my gosh! There's another one. It's
Oh.
great. She's so adorable. You have to save that one.
There's
Yes,
two of her in
your
the stream
internet
now.
does hate you.
Let's
She'll
add
be
another
back.
one. I think I'm just gonna leave your
You
poop
are
face up there.
funny. Cam, you are a man of many talents.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. we
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
Cam made that fun. We couldn't hear you
I
for a
don't-
while. You were super glitching out.
Yeah, my internet went down.
It's
Are
still
you
with
on
us.
the Ethernet? Do you have a little plug-in or are you on Wi-Fi?
I have a thing that plugs in over by my TV, but I'm in a room next to
Right.
that, and
You
usually
have
it's
to go
not a
sit by
problem.
your TV. That's why I'm in the guest room. It's really annoying. Like I have to go sit next to the thing and plug it directly into the router.
It has to be
Yeah.
close, yeah. And I don't usually have a problem, but today it didn't like me.
It's
But,
very annoying.
Like
I
wanted
to- hardwired
hate
in.
doing this. Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
went to this catechism class last night, and they saw my microphone. They were very impressed. They said, "Oh, what do you do? Are you on the radio?" I said, "Oh no, I do a little podcasting." "Oh, what's your podcast about?" And it's all these people who are easily between 60 and 80. We're like, "What is your podcast about?" And I'm like, "Oh, we do a little absurdity and a little politics." And they all kind of like sit back like, "Oh no, what are these?" And I'm a lot younger than them, so I know what they're thinking. They must be like, "Oh, she's one of those social justice warrior
Yes,
college
yes,
types."
Some conservatives don't like libertarians.
That's true.
Yeah,
You can't assume. And I'm really disappointed in the older generation and how they're like willing, like really, really old people are running scared against the COVID thing, willing to sell the entire country down the river to buy for them. How many more years could it possibly be? You got to be COVID positive. And that goes right with my blood type. Be positive.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but since you last came on the show, we did all the rebranding stuff.
I love it.
But like that has been our big push is white pills.
Nice.
We've seen a lot of downer shit. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've turned off podcasts or this, that, or the other because they go straight into COVID in the most depressing ways possible. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We'll talk about the depressing shit, but we're not going to harp on it. We're not going to spend time talking about numbers and I can't.
No, you gotta. My mother taught me. My mother is a late night radio listener. She's got insomnia. She stays up all night listening to the talk shows for like her whole life. And when I was on the radio, she said, "Jess, you got to keep it positive." I said, "Ma, you know what I talk about? I talk about the news, and you know how I hate lies. It's horrible." She's like, "If you can't keep it positive, there's no reason to listen to you." And oh my gosh, it took years for me to learn how to just keep positive. And then every once in a while, people will be mad at you because they'll say, you have to make fun of you are taking it lightly. And, or you think it's fun and funny that you can like crack the code on this stuff. And I'm like, look, I have kids. I don't think it's fun or funny, but it's like, it'll erode your psyche if you go for the negative.
Absolutely.
I think that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's the thing is we do talk about the deeply depressing. We do talk about the things that we don't want to think about, but it's like finding the little sliver of hope that we can use to go to the next day, the big sliver of hope that can lead us on forward. And so it's a lot of times it's just personal stuff because I think that's where you need to keep your focus is not on the macro. Because if you're focusing on the macro, if you're focusing on politics and thinking that politics is going to fix anything, you're going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Because it's not possible. So that's good to hear because we need another
oh
Jessica.
My gosh.
We're going to add another Jessica.
Sorry. I'm going to do the best I can.
They're great. I just love what you do with this, Cam. So I have a rebuttal, but I'm going to something to add, but I want to hear what Jessica was going to say.
Is he putting my poop faces up there?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
they're great.
Man.
Sorry, hon. You started it.
It's my poop faces.
I know. It's your signature. You decided that was going to be your signature.
It took me a while to figure out what he was doing. I'm like, what is that extra box? Because I don't see it. Yeah.
Oh, so you had to figure that out. Good for you.
Yeah, it dawned on me.
You're right.
I was like, he's taking screens of my poop faces. There we go. I can be replaced by a still.
By yourself, yeah. Actually, he can just leave it up there. If you lose your connection, just turn your camera off and keep talking.
It's true.
If it becomes a problem, I won't continue to interrupt the conversation. Please.
No, just turn your camera off and he'll put your poop face up and it'll be fine. Because we'll get your audio. You're all great. Make a bad one and then it'll be really.
Yeah.
Then it'll be a problem. But right now he's putting the nice ones up.
I save really good ones on my phone so I can laugh at them later.
There is a mirror in my bathroom. So like I can't even poop.
Oh god,
no,
I love this show.
Wow.
I love this show, man.
The lowest common denominator on the
Pretty
bad ones
quickly.
tonight.
Pretty quickly.
Really fast. Under 25 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's what you want. Now don't try to degrade me. I'm a very serious person.
These fans of ours are savages. You just ignore them. Yeah.
Well, the werewolf eyes doesn't really help elevate the mood.
Okay,
Gets those
werewolf
people
eyes.
Mean, yeah.
So my friend I don't know his real name, so I can't just say like Matt or Kevin or
Nice.
Bill. I have to
Just call him
say
Kevin.
my friend Whippin Spoon. I asked him, I was like, so Monica's going to be back on the show. Is there anything that you would like to hear about? And he was like, I really want her to talk about the sacrificial wolves, which is why we've got werewolf eyes. Because
Nice.
and I will say, him saying that, because like I've told you before, I don't have time to listen to anything with my current paradigm. But he said that the thing about the sacrificial wolves and talked about Weinstein, Cosby, Chauvin, etc. And I was like, this is such a great way to put it because of the narrative aspect of it. Because one of the things I harp on is people respond to story and they respond to morality.
Yeah.
And so the concept, like you could call it hermetic, mimetic theory or
Mimetic
whatever.
theory. David Gornowski looking at it.
You could take it into the nerd shit philosophy area, but if you're able to talk about sacrificial wolves, if you're being able to talk about these story elements, I find that much more fascinating. So I'd love to talk to you about that because I find this fascinating.
Well, I don't really go that deep. Like I can't ever really go that deep because like my show is just the headlines every day and I just cannot dig in the way I used to. But I had a concept of the created person. Stacey
I have
Abrams,
talked about this as well. AOC.
Yep.
I think who's Comey, Fidel Castro. Like there are people who were, yes, definitely people who were identified as children and cultivated. Probably Trump really too, but
yeah,
that makes it clearer. I think that like many are called, but few are chosen. It's like created. There's a lot of there's a whole stable of these created persons, and those guys fit the bill. And you can see because they have a backstory that's more sophisticated usually than their front story and that kind of thing.
Right.
But with the sacrificial wolf, that concept is where they will take away the rights of really unattractive people who will not otherwise come to justice. So they're willing to bend the rules so that you let it go in this case. And those are my three biggest examples: Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, whatever, and Derek Chauvin. And that what's happening to Derek Chauvin right now, everyone should be terrified of. And it's totally immersed in the system. I mean, I don't even know if he's a real person or what happened to George Floyd. That does look like a video of that happening, but I don't know what time, when it happened. People weren't wearing masks or anything. I just don't know. So the whole thing seems to be serving a bigger purpose, obviously. But the Derek Chauvin thing, they are charging him with federal civil rights violations. And in so doing, ironically, they are violating his civil rights, which I don't care because I don't like him. I can't care about what happens to him. I personally don't care what happens to him. And that's the problem, is that one thing people don't realize, it's really a violation of double jeopardy, several of the Bill of Rights, because you take away, so if you went to law school, you learn in law school that there are two elements to a crime: the actus reus and mens rea. So you have to do something and you have to mean to do it. You're taking catechism. Same thing with a mortal sin. It could be a venial sin if you didn't really think about it hard enough or whatever. But for it to be a mortal sin, you have to have sufficient reflection, full consent of the will, and it has to be a grievous offense against God. Yes. But with the law, you have to mean to do that thing. Like you didn't mean to scare a guy and you accidentally kill him. That is not the crime of murder. But if you meant to scare him to death and you did, that's murder. And so there's one crime and you're supposed to be tried for it one time by a jury of your peers. That's what it says in the Constitution. But then what they do, both on local levels, but then they also do it like laterally, where they will take they will take one thing that you did and meant to do, and they'll name it a bunch of things, and they'll call it different crimes. They'll charge you with them all and threaten to give you consecutive sentences. Yeah. And in this case, he was tried and released, whatever, or convicted in state, and then the feds are going to pile on this other crime, there's no federal crimes besides treason, counterfeiting, and piracy. So there are no
Right.
federal crimes. The DOJ is unconstitutional. The FBI is unconstitutional.
Absolutely.
And they do this stuff. So that now they're going to pile on these made up things on top of that.
Hate
And
crimes.
even if none of that mattered, it would still be double jeopardy because he's being tried for the exact same act and thought process after he's already
Multiple
been
ways.
tried. And that's why you have 99% plea bargains and stuff. That's why you have Tommy Chong going to jail for a crime he wasn't even accused of. He was not accused of it. His son had a bong making thing. He was a company. He was totally entrapped. I mean, they badgered him. They might even have been using a law that was defunct by the time they whatever. But they finally got this kid to agree to make a massive amount of bongs. And they said they were going to go pick them up because he would not ship them across the state line. And in the end, that it was like virtually going to bankrupt the kid. He needed the money for these bongs because he just couldn't make any more until he sold them, put all his money into these bongs. Finally, they said, we're not paying you unless you put them in the mail. So he put them in the mail. They came in, they busted him. They charged him and his mom with stuff that they told Tommy Chong would send them to jail for 99 years. And they said, and they even wrote in some of the court filings that he was a person who mocked law enforcement in film. They actually wrote that as if it was relevant. Anyway, so because they threatened him with 99 years, instead of John DeLorean, who really did some shady stuff, but he fought it on grounds of entrapment, and he was not convicted, and he was not retried or anything, because those were the days when it was like one crime, and you get a trial for it. Once they piled all that stuff on, and they can accuse you, they can threaten two people with 99 years for selling glass to somebody, then they can go to Tommy Chong and say, or do you want to go to jail for a year just to suck it? And he's like, okay, what do you want me to do? And that's why people plead like 99% of the time. So Derek Chauvin's situation is awful. And why does no one care at all? Because he's awful. Bill Cosby, I'm not going to go through the same treatment. I've done it before. Bill Cosby, the exact same thing. There's like 5 different of the Bill of Rights that was violated with him. Not to mention state and local laws. He was denied a witness who could have said, who was going to testify that his accuser plotted audibly to extort him, to lure him into a relationship for this purpose, all that. But he's such a gross weirdo that you don't care, that, you hate what he did. But Quaaludes were a party drug. It was not a roofie. It was just, they made this stuff up. And, maybe he's not a totally gross weirdo, but he was, when he starts like retweeting Louis Farrakhan and stuff saying, whatever, I don't know, like sexually inappropriate things, you don't really have a lot of sympathy for the guy, and it's hard to even defend him. Look, I can't even defend him with a straight face. None of these guys. Harvey Weinstein.
I love the Cosby
one.
Show. I love the Cosby Show.
Yeah, and think of all the things we watch where the actors are sleazebags who we think are undermining everything from decency to our future. And what are you going to do? You still watch it? Yeah, it's all of them. That's why they're there. That's what it's for.
Well, it's like that. Did you? I doubt you did. But did you watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus?
No.
It is easily, like, I thought that when they did the superhero movie Captain Marvel that was bad, but it was easily the most clearly preachy show I've ever seen. Like, it was legitimately badly written, and I was so disappointed.
And you sat through the whole thing?
I sat through the whole thing because I am a nerd and I like superheroes.
Yes,
I do.
It's like science fiction. I can take the worst science fiction. I'll watch it to the bitter end. I love science fiction.
But
I think there's something. I think there's something to be said for choosing people who are specifically disgusting, like you said, like not even just like
do you
in their
remember the
deeds,
thing
but
about Weinstein though?
Their physical appearance is also grotesque, and so it's easy.
They
to
skeeve
be like,
you.
Yeah. And so
do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the description they gave of his penis and his body? Do you remember that?
Yes.
I did an episode about it because it was so absolutely what the fuck did I just hear?
Wasn't his conviction based on him having sex with his girlfriend?
I don't remember.
I think the woman went out with him for an extended period of time.
So one of the stories
I don't know because I didn't really follow it very closely, but when I heard the story of the specific thing he was convicted for, I was like, that doesn't sound like a precedent we want set.
Right, and he is grotesque to look at. Like he
totally
looks
disgusting,
horrifying.
And Rose McGowan, what a pig! She told her lawyer or her agent that she was disgusted with herself because he invited her up to the room. She went and she did do whatever she did with him sexually. I don't know. And she was disgusted with herself. And the lawyer was horrified, ran it up the flagpole, told the partners, blah, blah, blah. And that lawyer suicided herself, just like Anthony Bourdain, who knew about some weird, the backstory of his girlfriend.
Bennington or something, like tied to Anthony Bourdain before he died too.
Who?
The guy from Lincoln Park. There was I've heard, I've not looked into this, so I mean, don't quote me, but there was a list of 3 guys, one of which I can't remember, one being Anthony Bourdain, one being, is his name Chester? I know his name's Chester. I won't go with the last name, but he was the lead singer of Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
And he just happened to commit suicide around the same time.
Kate Spade also.
Allegedly, him and
forgot about that.
What's his name? Anthony Bourdain were working on something that would have been detrimental to the Clintons, which I feel like probably not that, because that sounds like too easy.
I think it was the Harvey Weinstein thing, because when Anthony Bourdain supposedly killed himself, I took it straight. I went on the air and I was like, suicide's bad. Here's the hotline number. And et cetera. It was a terrible show. I regret that show. But anyway, so I remember saying, I don't think I said it on the air because I thought it would be rude, but I remember saying, the only thing that's going to make me think that this guy didn't kill himself is if the Harvey Weinstein thing involving his girlfriend, Asia Argento, right? That if her story doesn't hold up. So she said all this Harvey Weinstein stuff and he defended her, Anthony Bourdain. And I thought if her story doesn't hold up in the end, I'll think they got rid of him because they knew he would blow the whistle because he was an honest guy. And then shortly thereafter, it came out that she was a sexual harasser and she had had settled something. Who knows, how they got these people to go along.
And that's who it was. It was Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, and Anthony Bourdain. Allegedly, they were all involved in a documentary project about elite child molesters.
Wow.
That's what I've heard. Well, and I couldn't remember what it was because,
that feeds a little bit into the Q thing, which I actually think is going to lead to an anti-Semitism thing. So I think,
I remember we talked about early on when Q started coming up, we were talking and I was like, Q's a psyop, man.
Totally.
Q's a psyop.
I never believe anything that explodes. No, don't. Right. No, there's no way I ever thought that was.
Well, no, but I had said it was a psyop. And you'd said something about how it was this other, you thought it was a government thing, but that it was for a different purpose. And I was like, I think that it's meant to make people who were against pedophiles to look like they're crazy people.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would have wondered if it was a honeypot. I'm trying to think when I remember it when I was on the air and I had a listener who was really good most of the time, and then all of a sudden he started calling with 40,000 indictments and all this kind of stuff, and he was just useless as far as giving me real insights into the news of the day. And I was like, oh, this is definitely getting people distracted from the truth.
Yes.
Right.
But I feel like the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, Mossad, all that stuff, they're gonna mush it in with the pedophile thing, and they're trying to make Q now look like Haiti Christians,
right?
And if they can fold the pedo thing in with Mossad or something, then they'll have their full on Nazi stuff.
Yeah, I think my original take was that it's a lot like the flat Earth thing, which I think was a psyop to make all conspiracy theories look invalid.
Yeah,
and I think that was my take originally.
That would have been ahead of the game. Yeah, I did not know what to make of it, but at no point did I believe it because it was too custom made. It was anonymous. It was just too ready to go.
And you see the effect of that now every time you bring up any reason you might be hesitant about getting this vaccine. They say, "Oh, what do you think it's going to turn you into a 5G tower?" Like they're loaded and rocked and ready, and it's like, well, no,
I think it might turn you into a neuter.
Did you see what the governor of Ohio tweeted out today? Oh, here.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
I've got screenshots. Here we go.
It's wild.
Let me pull this on up.
I'm so excited that you haven't seen this yet, Monica.
Oh my gosh.
There were two tweets. So the governor of Ohio is trying to get people to take the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, so, with over the last year, there have been different dispensations of money to different states, people, countries, etc., with all these big spending bills. Ohio apparently has some saved up. And so their plan is 2 weeks from tonight, says Governor Mike DeWine. 2 weeks from tonight, on May 26th, we will announce a winner of a separate drawing for adults who have received at least their first dose of the vaccine. This announcement will occur each Wednesday for 5 weeks, and the winner each Wednesday will receive $1 million.
Oh, I mean, Nuremberg, anyone?
But like they didn't leave out the children. They didn't leave out the children. Let's go to the next one.
Oh my God. That's awful.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
Getting our 12 to 17-year-olds vaccinated is so important that we will have a separate incentive for them. On Wednesday, May 26th, we will announce the winner of a drawing of all those 17-year-olds and under who have been vaccinated, and the winner will receive a full 4-year scholarship to the state of Ohio universities. This will include tuition, room, and board, and books.
Okay. If it was for the kid, it would be a trip to Disneyland. That's for the parents.
Well, not to mention, this is 12 to 17. So Pfizer, I know, is pushing to get from
don't care about college scholarships. They're not going to pay.
Right.
Their parents do, though. Yeah, you're right about that.
I know that Pfizer's pushing to be able to vaccinate between 2 and 17. So if they get pushed through, I think they may have between 2 and 11. Disney World's probably going to be the next offer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because I want to say, I clicked through as much. I'm sure I could do a little more research, but the idea of emergency authorization is about cost benefit analysis. And since there is absolutely it's not even calculable, like kids between 12 and 17 dying of COVID, yet it is calculable, the kids that would die from the vaccine. So the cost benefit analysis on its face can't work unless they're actually talking about the benefits to the community. Right. Which is a Nuremberg violation, right? Isn't that what the eugenicists were doing? I mean, isn't that what eugenics is?
But when you point these things out to people, because I saw several threads on Twitter today where people were pointing out the exact thing you just said, Monica, about the Nuremberg thing. And it's as if those implications go completely out the window and those people say, well, in this case, we're doing it to save lives. And I've been trying to explain over and over and over again that those people back then also were telling their populations, we're doing this to save lives. Right. So everybody thinks that they would be, in that picture where everybody's giving the Zig Heil and the one guy isn't. Everybody thinks they're that guy, but they're not.
They're the other guys, for sure.
Other guys. Yeah.
I used to say that when people would argue against voting for Ron Paul. Like I'd be on the air talking to these Rush Limbaugh conservatives, and I would say, you don't understand. You think you're the guy picking up the musket for the revolution, but you're not. You're the guy fighting for England. You're a redcoat, buddy. And it's the same. See, that's why I was really disappointed about the whole Trump thing. It's because people used to argue the Constitution, give me big snaps when I would read from the Constitution when Obama was president. But when Trump was president, I was, quote, quibbling about semantics when I read the Constitution.
That's what's so awful about the team sports aspect of it, is because all of these people who were so eager to criticize the government while Trump was in office, they did not keep that energy coming into the Biden administration. And so they've all gone to sleep, and the Biden administration can do what they please without any criticism or focus pointed at them at all.
This goes back to the white pill. I was going to make comments about the white pill idea. And it seems to me that the reason it's so hard to find the white pill, it's so easy to find the black pill, is that we are so, I think it's a feeling that you have no control.
Agency?
Yeah, no agency over your life, none whatsoever. And because of that, it's aggravating and frustrating, but it's maddening because you can't do anything about it. So if you think of it and you're like, well, you can't think of the big things, you have to think of the little things. And if you think, but this is kind of a hopeless thing in a way, like we always thought my mom was kind of hopeless for doing this. But she would say, oh, God is up in his heaven. It's unfolding the way it's supposed to. And I'm like, well, you're not supposed to sit around and do nothing. We're not here to do nothing. But the idea would be that we're here as a test to see how, if we can stand our grounds and continue, our own integrity, our own moral integrity, our own free will, like our own individual, very individualistic. And and if the devil could just be a guy in an elephant outfit saying, "Come on, I mean, donkeys are bad," and that's it. Like, and you're just like, "You're right, the donkeys are really bad. I guess I'm an elephant," and it's like, that's not what you were there to put. You show up to St. Peter and you're wearing an elephant suit. And he's like, I thought you were a human being. It's like, I know, but I was elephant. It was either elephant or donkey. And I picked elephant. It's like, you're a human being. Like, you failed.
Well, and that's a different way to put my take, which is agency is the white pill. It's like the other day, or actually today, someone was tweeting. So I won't say who, because I'm not trying to cause shit. But someone
cause shit
about.
I was gonna say, Cam, why stop now?
But someone was saying something about how we can change the world, and recent days, you can disagree with me if you'd like, but in recent days, every time I see someone talking about changing the world or changing the country or changing the nation or whatever, I'm like, did anyone give me that job? My job is to tend my garden. Anything beyond that is extra. I'm here for my family and for my friends and for anyone who wants to listen to what I might have to say. Beyond that, I don't see how that's my job. My job is to tend my garden.
And what do you think would happen if everyone had your philosophy?
So many beautiful gardens.
The world would change.
Yeah. And that's it kind of ties into that old concept from Gandhi, which is be the change you want to see in the world, or as we say at the end of the show now, be the glitch you want to see in the Matrix. but that I think is the point, because I think that black-pilled people are people who are still holding on to the fiction and onto some faith in the state and in the system.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to find the white pills when you are not divorced from the darkness.
I even see with myself, like I get frustrated like that. And I worry, I worry that I worry. Like I literally worry about worrying. So like that is like pretty black pilly. And what I know, and every once in a while, one of these things will be revealed to me. What I know is that there's stuff I don't know. I guess it's Rumsfeld thought of all this already. No, unknown unknowns. Like there's
we
stuff,
talked about this too.
Yeah, it's the underwear from the old school. Like it's probably something I never even thought of. Like she could be wearing something that I never even thought of underneath that dress. And I just, I don't know what I haven't thought of, but like, it's probably just the right pair of undies to change the world. And I just don't even know what that is yet. But every once in a while I get an insight that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So speaking of the right pair of undies, they are not a sponsor. I have reached out to them, but I'm not sure that sheath underwear is the right pair of undies for me. Should we?
Oh yeah.
Is that like a male thong?
Okay, no, it's not like a male thong. What it is?
It's got a pocket.
I would show you if I had.
Is it only a
one
pocket?
pair I have.
Well, it's got a separate pocket for your guys.
But is it only a pocket?
No. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole pair of boxer briefs.
Right. Okay.
But it has a little pocket sewn on the inside for your jiggly
your
bit.
kibbles and bits.
Yeah. And then
like
and then
3
it has
pockets.
It has one pocket and then a hole for the main event.
Really?
But what I've found is that it doesn't work for everyone. So for me, I like the concept.
Why?
Sheath underwear.
Why doesn't it work? Does it come in different sizes? Does it have like sub
Here's the deal.
sizes, like large and then like extra large / extra large? Or is it like tiny
not really-
/ extra large? Like, do you get to
think
change?
there's
Did you
one
choose the
To know
size.
if the
size of the
aperture
pocket?
of the hole
Yeah.
gets bigger or not.
Yes. Like, does the pocket have its own sizing?
I don't know about that because I
Because
didn't buy them
maybe you
for
sized
myself.
that wrong.
My friend Paul bought them for me.
Your friends buy you underwear?
Good
But
question, Monica.
it was a Christmas
Hey,
gift.
man, I don't judge. I don't judge.
But here's if you want the real story, there are certain aspects of me that are heavier than is comfortable. I think that's the nicest way.
I'm sure
to
it comes
say
in handy,
that
but I can
things-
see it's a burden.
It is it is a burden. Paul is in the comments saying I did not size his dick first. My bad.
Well, you dropped the ball, Paul.
Literally.
I once stumped a priest in confession, and his answer was, "That's between you and your God." So,
I'm just saying
whatever it
there
is, you guys are up
there's
to.
perfect underwear out there, but for me, sheath underwear is not it.
Well, you and Paul need to have that conversation.
We do. We
Wow.
need to
And
go
you're
deep.
trying to send the underwear back?
No,
You
I'm
can't
not gonna
send
it
underwear back, Cam.
He
I'm not
just
gonna
said he
send
was
it
trying
back.
to contact them about these are not for me.
No,
Sorry.
I had tried, but before.
Why would you tell them?
Before I
Money
got
back
the underwear,
guarantee.
I was trying to
Uh-huh.
get them to sponsor me, but now I'm like, I don't know if I could do this honestly.
Oh, so now you have to come back and say,
We've now entered the genital segment of the
dude,
podcast.
it's not even the top of the hour. How is this? Can you make this? See, I told you it's got to disappear if you're going to have podcast aids.
Well,
It
here's
has
the
to
deal.
disappear.
Here's the deal, though. This is all on me. It's not on you. We're not talking about anyone's body.
I don't
first.
know.
It's for
I'm
my
saying
own.
words I don't want. Knowing you're going to cut every bad word I said, and it's going to like start
Don't
the
give
show with, oh, I was just about to
Don't give him ideas, Monica. Trust me on this. Don't give him
Okay.
ideas. He'll
do
use
it,
them.
Jessica.
I am a prankster. And
I know. It's too late.
so here's the deal, though. I won't prank you, but I was talking to Jessica the other
Black
night.
Silky.
I forget what it was. What were you talking about where someone was pranking you or something? And
It
I
was
told
the
you
black
about the story
silky
with
cock.
the NyQuil.
My friend sent me the picture of the chicken.
Right. Well, I was talking to Jessica the other night and I was like, I
Don't you
am a
remember?
bad, I was a
I
bad,
remember.
of course I remember the black silky
Sorry.
cock.
Okay. It was so pretty. Go ahead. Keep talking.
But I
Something
was-
about NyQuil? Something about NyQuil?
Yes. Okay. So if you don't remember, so my dad is no longer with us, but when he was alive,
I remember.
I was a dickhead because I always have been. I've told Jessica my story about the Necronomicon. I've
Just to
told-
clarify, he didn't stop being a dickhead when his dad died. He just
It's
was
true.
also then a dickhead too.
Yes.
Continue.
You're showing Monica really wants us to see that silky black cock.
She got that. She got that silky black
No,
cock
so
on her
people
phone.
know. You,
The audio has no idea what you're talking
Oh.
about.
it's a chicken. It's a picture of a chicken, but it's a picture.
Which is-
I got it now. It looks like I have a picture.
It's a
of-
breed
So-
of chicken,
It's a
it's called
beautiful.
silky.
Yes,
and
thank you.
this
Jessica.
one is
Come on.
black. It's
And it's
large and
male.
black, and it's male.
Is it?
And
Look
it's
how
a breed of-
beautiful it is.
He's so gorgeous. That is the
He's so
most
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Now let me
most
just show
beautiful black
you.
silky cock that I've ever seen.
Let me
So-
show you. Keep talking, and I'm going to show you his girlfriend.
I was just going to say that Joshua Smith, I was talking to him the other day, and he said, I'm going to have Monica
yeah.
on the show.
Mhm.
And I said, please ask her about silky black cocks.
Did you
I don't know if
really?
you have, I said, I don't know if you have the guts for this, but if you do, ask her
That's
about it.
Well, it's too
I
late.
don't think he will. Here's the
I
deal, though.
brought it up.
I want you to go in there and see if he asks you about it. See if he has the gumption.
I'll see,
Um,
but I'm not going to blow up his show. I've never been on a show
You-
before.
Few men have the gumption for silky black cock.
Oh my gosh. Wait, let's just clarify this by showing you his girlfriend. Look at how beautiful his girlfriend is.
I know.
Oh, lovely.
Isn't
when
she?
you are a large, black, silky cock, you
You
have
can
your
get-
pick of the litter.
You can get some hot chicks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is all chicken humor.
So-
It's completely
Yeah,
wholesome
it's
chicken
it's
humor.
homesteading jokes. I got this from a homesteader. Come on.
So I was
What did
telling
you think I
Jessica
meant?
about one of my
Pervert.
pranks. I've told her about my Necronomicon prank in the past. I think I
is
may have
that
told her
measuring
another
dead
one.
people? What's a Necronomicon?
No,
It's
Necronomicon
the
was
Book of the Dead.
yes,
Oh.
and I made someone believe
Oh, like
that
a
it was
lexicon.
following them around the store, and it was evil. Like it's a whole
That's
thing.
super funny. Someone
Oh, it
prone to
was.
superstition?
Okay, I'll just tell this again because it's
It would
worth
have to
telling.
be, right? Those people
So
are
I
so
was
evil.
working at a bookstore, and every night we had to straighten up the books. And so one night, this guy, I think his name was Alex, he was cleaning up the books, and one of the books that he had to put up was the Necronomicon, and he had seen The Evil Dead, which mentions the Necronomicon. And so without skipping a beat, talking to another guy who works with me, he was like, "Oh, this is so funny. It's from The Evil Dead." And I actually had a story from a friend about this book. And so I go into, okay, I don't know if you know about this, but I had a friend and he had a copy of the Necronomicon, and he told me the story about how he had to get rid of it, and he eventually burnt it because of the evil that comes out of this book. And so he was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, the Necronomicon is written by the Mad Arab." And so this guy started reading it and doing some of the incantations in the Necronomicon, and suddenly he would see a man in a top hat in random places outside of his window, behind him, etc. So he started getting freaked out. And this is a story someone's told me. What I'm telling you is something that someone told me. Okay, this part is the true story, or
Right.
supposedly true story that I was told. And he said, I said, and what he had to do is he ended up burning the book because he was so scared of it. And when he burnt the book, it
Really?
burnt
That's
to,
true?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he told me.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm
gotcha.
looking
He
it
said
up.
he-
It's totally a thing.
He threw it
Fun.
in the fire, and when it burnt down, it burnt to a page that said, "Do not burn this book," and stopped burning. And then my friend Zach, who also worked at the store, goes, "Yes, I had the same thing happen to me." Not skipping a beat, because I'm like,
Awesome.
You
because
just
he knew I
confirmed
was
it.
about to fuck with Alex.
Right. Oh my gosh. You are a dangerous character, Cam.
And so
You raised my
he-
game though.
And
I
so
like it.
he took it, and I said, "Just put the book up. It's fine." He was like, "I don't want to touch it anymore. I don't want to touch it anymore. I can feel the evil now. I don't want to touch it anymore." And so that night I went into the system and I ordered 25 copies of the Necronomicon.
No, you
And so when they came in, he
The
didn't
system
know
of the
this.
store.
Yeah. I shouldn't have done this. But I ordered 25
Whatever,
copies of
go
it
sell
for
them.
the store, and then or send them back, whatever.
It's a prank.
But so what I did was I put one out of place, or I brought it to the front for him to take back, and he was like, "Oh, I hate this book," and he put it back. But what he didn't know is that during my shift, I had placed them in different places throughout the store. So when he was cleaning up the whole store, he kept running into it. And every time he'd bring one up to me, I'd be like, "Go put it back up. I don't know why you're doing this."
and
and he would-
meanwhile, you would sneak the original one away.
Well, no, I didn't even have to, because he was so unhappy with touching it. I would just throw it into a bin that he didn't know existed, and it would disappear in his mind. And so then
You
he kept
started taking
finding
them.
Yeah, and then my friend Zach took the original copy the one time.
Right.
And so he went through the whole store and found 25 copies, and he was like, "I don't know what's going on. This is evil. This is following me." And I was like, "Hell yes. Fuck you, Alex."
Wow. So you really messed with him. So he didn't think that there were just a lot of copies, or that you were
He
messing with
didn't,
him?
because he couldn't find them, because he'd go
Oh.
back. But he'd go back.
He never
and-
saw two at the same time.
Right. And so the whole time, like he it was so perfectly executed. I can't believe it happened.
There's
But-
rare opportunity for a prank like that.
So while Cam enjoys himself about this, I remind him that he has 3 sons and they have yet to come of age, and he will get his.
Oh my
So
It's true. You reap what you sow.
I was talking to Jessica the other night, and I told her about a prank I pulled on my dad. One night, I essentially gaslit the man before I knew what gaslighting was.
Right.
One night, he had accidentally taken his NyQuil, which he took every night, and put it in the fridge and didn't think about it. So the next morning, my dad is like not happy because someone put his NyQuil in the fridge, and he knew it couldn't have been him. It had to have been someone else. And so for the next 5 years, I would randomly take his NyQuil and put it in the fridge for him to find. And he never said anything after that point.
He must have known it was you.
I don't think he did, because I think he would have been like, "Can you cut it off? Cut it out, please. Could you stop?" But no, I know that every morning every morning he found a NyQuil, he was like, "I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm losing my mind. I know I didn't do this."
I can't believe you didn't figure out. I was raised by a big prankster, and he would really pull some big pranks. And there were a few pretty funny ones, but I'll just tell you one. One of my brothers went to Thailand during Vietnam with the Air Force. So he was like a vet over there when it was like ugly. And he brought some stuff back. Who knows what the fuck he brought back, but he brought a lot of things back. And I don't know what was stuffed inside them or what, but there were all these like Thai artifacts in our house. And one of them was this, it was, what do you call it? When you stuff animals? Like
taxidermy?
Yeah, taxidermy of a cobra and a mongoose.
Tattoo of my.
Oh, I love the new tattoo.
My, if I can get it on the screen.
How do you keep it so red?
That's just my tattoo artist, man. He just puts stickers on my skin, essentially.
Can he touch it up if it gets sun faded?
Oh yeah. And he guarantees them. So for the rest of my life, if
I have a thing for rabbits. I have rabbits. I plan to eat them eventually, and I go down rabbit holes. So
yeah,
I love it. Anyway,
I love it. It was chosen by the internet, by the way. I tweeted,
"Really?
I'm getting a tattoo. What should I get?" And a girl with the handle @Virum Liberty, she said, "Get a jackalope." And I said, "Holy shit, that's a great idea."
Yeah.
And so then I put up a poll, and I was like, I was gonna get a wolf, but someone said jackalope. Which should I get? And people chose the jackalope, and I was like, hell yeah, this is 100% up my alley.
So much more original and interesting than a wolf.
Yeah,
I like wolves.
It's very
wolf
me.
Would be good too, but
I feel like it's just me.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it's awesome, and it's beautiful. It has to be beautiful. So I got to tell you the ending about the mongoose.
Yes,
and
go
the
ahead.
cobra.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, cobra.
So what he did was he put in the bread drawer a little mouse trap, and every morning he would say, "Hey, we definitely have a mouse. Like, could you just look in the bread drawer? Don't put your fingers in it because you're gonna get your fingers cut off, and just see if we caught a mouse." And he'd do it to each one of us. There were 6 girls, and everyone would look, there's no mouse, like day after day. And then one day puts the fucking mongoose in it. So he disconnected the mongoose from the thing. And each one of us, so the first one came down, would open the thing and see the mongoose and just shit herself. It just hit the roof. And then they'd be in on the joke. So then they'd go sit with him in the dining room and have coffee or whatever and wait for the next person to come down. And he'd say, "Oh, Monica, would you go see if there's a mouse?" And by then I was like, there's no mouse. At first I was like, but by then I was like, there's no mouse. Hit the effing roof. That was my favorite of his, because every one of us just lost our shit. And he couldn't have done it to old people because you would have had a heart attack, because a mongoose is big.
I like that it's a long con too. You have to devote multiple hours and days to this joke. Yeah,
he was a great prankster like that. He had the patience.
It's
it reminds me of Stanley Stifferson from SNL, played by Christopher Walken, where he talks about his pranks, and he's telling his friend about his pranks, and he's like, "Oh, this guy pissed me off at work, so I waited for him in the parking lot, and when he came around to go to his car, I jumped out at him. And the guy's like, "Yeah, you scared him?" He's like, "Well, I pranked him to death with a crowbar."
So do you guys remember the girl who was in The Exorcist? Years later, when she became an adult.
Yeah, Reagan.
So she became the actress became an adult, and she put out these videos, these VHS videos of like how to do pranks, but they're not pranks at all. They're how to like basically like ruin someone's life, like how to get liens put on their house.
She never got another role. She was bitter.
Terrible things. And like it's the
how did
video
you
is
what?
sold.
Like sugar in the gas tank kind of prank?
It's stuff like that. So there is like the sugar in the gas tank is actually one of the things that she tells people to do. But it's this whole video. Her name is Linda something. I can't remember what it is. But they're supposed to be Linda Blair. Linda Blair like teaches you pranks, but they're horrible. They can like get people killed, seriously maimed, ruin their life, like have them crash their car.
Yeah, loves it.
She's like, "Oh, isn't this such a funny?" Yeah. I'm gonna. You pause up there. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm gonna find the. I'm gonna find.
Cam, it's a little dangerous that you like. I had a German friend. It was weird. Like his grandparents, one was a Nazi and one was Jewish, so they had to leave and go to Argentina. So like, and then so he looked like a Nazi, and then he converted to Judaism. Well, I shouldn't say he looked like a Nazi, but he looked like what a Nazi.
Like, tough break. You look like a Nazi, man.
He didn't look like a Nazi. He looked very. He had no pigmentation whatsoever. So like it looked like he was swimming around on the ocean floor. Like he was just, and that was in the posters. That I actually really like the guy a lot.
Cam, check the private chat. I sent you the link.
But I used to laugh, and I'd be like, Germans have this crazy sense of humor. Like they laugh like hysterically when you're like, oh yeah, and like the guy in the wheelchair fell into the pool. And then they just like lose their mind at the mean, crazy stuff. And of course, as soon as I mentioned that, like he just died laughing. And they just have that. And Cam, you're reminding me of that.
Sorry,
not pranking somebody to death with a crowbar is like something that's funny.
It's so ludicrous. I think.
Yeah, it is. It's ludicrous. Yes, that's what's.
The thing I just sent you is like the full hour-long VHS. Don't play that. Play the second link.
Okay.
Let's see.
Soup Canarchist. You know what? I never see the C. I was like, soup archist. Oh, that's because she likes to make soup.
I do like to make soup.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I can.
But I didn't see the can. Yeah, and then I really like it now.
Thank you.
So what's funny about it is that, but also I think it was it the first episode or right before, like when I announced, I was with David at Derryberry, and I had said, we're rebranding. Jessica's coming on as the permanent co-host, and I had made some sort of joke about a soup can, and in my mind I was making a dick joke. But you'd have to be in my brain to make that connection.
No, thank you.
And so I was like making a dick joke about soup can, and then I was like, I'm just gonna call you soup can, and then it stuck, and I was like, I've got to tell her eventually that this is about a girthy dick.
Are you familiar with this, Jessica, or is this the first time you're hearing this?
No, he made me aware pretty quickly about it, but I don't mind so much. Like
you embraced it, as it were.
Dick jokes anyway. I leaned into it, so it's not like that big.
You embraced the soup can girth. All right, I'm afraid what we're about to see.
So this
Can you hear it?
No.
Yeah.
Here's Officer Pierre. Another
You can't hear it.
active police officer.
Now I can.
Turn it up.
Show us the many ways your telephone can cause tremendous damage.
Let's do it.
But first, let's begin with private investigator Ben Vickers. Mr. Vickers specializes in getting even with former friends and lovers. Mr. Vickers, could you give us an example of what could be done to a former friend or lover?
Few examples, huh? It first came to me.
What did you have him immediately do?
He wants to collect no Social Security benefits.
Hit him in the pocketbook, eh?
You had to hit him while he's down. After all, my client wasn't the heavy here. He was just trying to even up the score.
Ouch.
What?
I'd sure hate to be
So
him.
seems like they cut out the actual tips.
I guess you could
Oh,
like
okay,
what
because
to
I
do
was
to
like,
the person.
they take everything off of YouTube, but how to actually hurt people, they leave on. Like how to make a bomb, they leave on. Oh shit!
So-
You're gonna want to.
When did it? Yeah, no,
want to bleep that out, bro.
they take us down all the time.
I'm so worried now about Cam's devious little mind clipping all the little things together.
I'll be honest, I don't have the time for it, so you're
Oh,
safe.
thank God.
You're
Thank
safe.
God. Thank
You're
God.
safe.
I'm just going to call it a deep fake anyway. So I'm going to say, I don't even know that fucking guy. I'm suing him. He's very clever with the tech.
That particular video clipped out what the actual tip was, but there is the full hour-long version of Linda Blair's How to Get Revenge, and it is legit
Where
like
is
how
it?
to. It's on YouTube. You can find it easily. It's the whole hour-long VHS is on there, and she tells you like they give you tips on like how to get people to get in trouble like with fraud for Social Security, so they can never collect it. How to put sugar in gas tanks, like things that will legitimately get you arrested. If you do them, like, don't do any of the things.
Yeah,
that Linda Blair
I'm a
tells
little
you to do.
concerned that that's like even
Right.
out there. I'm hoping that vengeful people are dangerous.
It's been. I mean, that video came out like 91 or
Yeah, it
something.
looks
so it's
like
been
it.
out there. Yeah.
So I'm hip and I'm on TikTok, right? I
Oh wow, do you
saw-
do that little booty thing?
I don't do any booty thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Jessica? They stick their. Oh, you must know if you're on TikTok. This
see
is
it
what
all.
they do. You say TikTok to a teenage girl, and they just go and shake their ass. It's like the craziest thing. And Binkley's like, I think it's like some kind of basically free porn, like pedo stuff. Like, he doesn't look at it.
It can be.
And actually, that's what I hear even from the kids. They're just like, it gets weird.
It does get weird.
Yeah.
That's why you hold down on the screen and you hit not interested, and then get the stuff
Okay.
that's for not
Okay.
pedophiles.
I don't know. I've never ever looked at it.
But I saw a video today of a guy saying, so with the gas shortage, here's what we can do an honesty check with people. We can make sure that they're good people and doing the right thing. So this is what you do. You buy some gas tanks, you fill them with water and sugar, you put them on the back of your truck, and you check and see if people try to take those. And if they take them, they're not honest people.
Actually, that's not the worst idea I ever heard.
It's not.
I mean, if you leave I wouldn't necessarily make what's called an attractive nuisance. But if you had it in a place where people know it's clearly yours and they took it, I mean, if everyone did that, like after they tended their gardens, they did that also, you'd really slow down the whole like bad guy circuit. It just would go away.
They can't drive anymore.
No.
It's like nonviolent vigilantism, because if you weren't a damn thief in the first place, nothing would have happened to you. So
Exactly.
She mentioned Linda Blair, and I was gonna actually wait until Nick Picone comes on the show on Sunday, but Jessica and I and Gwen need to start thinking about the 100 Nights of Horror challenge, where we watch 100 horror movies leading up to Halloween. And so here's my question: one,
be a
do you
part of
like
that?
horror
Or
movies?
is it just-
Absolutely, you can.
wait, what's your question, Monica? I'm sorry.
I wanted to know if I could be a part of it because I hate horror movies, but because I never watch them, I realized that there are a lot of really good movies that I've never seen, and my daughter loves them.
Yeah.
So I would like to do that. Be
Well,
part
here's
of
There
my
are also
question.
a lot of bad ones that we watch. Just
Right.
to warn
Oh,
you, like it's
oh.
almost
That was
a
like the
thing.
hardest part.
Yeah.
But let me ask: are there any horror movies that you've watched that you've liked?
Dude, you know what I like? I
What?
like those super. Why you guys don't use vulgarity? Good for you. At this
What?
hour,
We use a lot.
am
of
I not
vulgarity.
hearing it? Okay, I just
I've
feel
said
like every
fuck
other
a
word out of
couple
my
times.
mouth is F, as my mother would say. Every other word is F with you. What is with that?
We talked
So-
about the cock aperture of a pair of underwear. I think the cat's out of the bag at this point.
No, the
like-
cock is a chicken. All cock talk has
that's
been about a
true.
chicken. Those are talks. So
a lot of cock talk.
I'm sorry.
yes,
Cock aperture is probably my favorite thing you've ever said,
cock
Jessica.
aperture, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
That's a
fantastic.
good one. I'm not going to let it in my glossary, but I highly recommend you make it hashtag
I used to be a photographer, so
nice. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That is lovely. I think you have to name this episode Cock Aperture. I think that would be.
Jeez.
so
I'm okay with that, but it has to be a picture of the chicken just to keep
The
it
silky
clean
black
for the
cock.
kids.
So
Yeah,
back
but
in
let me tell
20
you my favorite horror movies. Go ahead, what?
Yes,
go ahead.
tell
go
me.
ahead. No, you please go ahead.
It's
please go
that-
ahead.
Because I want
fucking
to
guy.
offer, I want to offer you a slot in the 100 days. So the movie that you say will be in our list.
Dude, it's such a disturbing movie. And the other movie this guy made is also insanely disturbing.
love it.
Hereditary?
Holy shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Midsummer.
Holy hell.
I've seen
Dude,
Midsummer. I haven't seen.
If I could take that. I could
Hereditary.
take anything.
You haven't seen
I
Hereditary?
like House on
Jessica?
House on Haunted Hill. I liked.
Yeah.
So the deal with the 100 Nights Challenge, I created it back in 2017, and it was originally just a Facebook group. And I wrote up a list of 100 movies to watch in the 100 days preceding to Halloween to lead up to Halloween night. I never have made it to the end of the challenge, and as far as I know, no one else has either. It's actually difficult, even though it's one movie a day. It sounds like a piece of cake. It's genuinely a challenge because some of these
100
movies,
days?
100 days. So it starts July 23rd every year, and that's 100 days before Halloween. And then
Whoa.
finish out the challenge on Halloween. Generally, people drop off about midway through, and then we all kind of gather up at the end for the big finale on Halloween.
I have
night.
a suggestion.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it possible that you make like a modified plan for whatever Gen Xers where it's, I was going to call myself a boomer, but I'm not a boomer. I'm not owning boomer. I am a Gen Xer. I'm a mom. Where you can have, make it like a wave. So every Friday and Saturday are the ones that, and then let us be like maybe guest
Yeah.
participants.
So
That's a good idea.
Generally, I try to put the good ones on the weekend because that's when people are most available and most likely to watch, and then they'll participate in the group more often.
Okay.
And then like the kind of crappy ones, anything with William Shatner in it, for example, is going to be like a Monday night.
I'm going to
You know
enjoy
what I'm
that one.
saying?
Include me in that. But
Great.
if you want to do like a weekend one of a guest or whatever, and you want to give me that guy, Hereditary and Midsummer, I can take it.
Nice.
Dude,
That
I'd love
sounds
to do that.
awesome. So
Because October is my month.
Those are
Because-
the best horror movies I think ever made. Because that guy knows how to make movies. He's original. He's great. And
Yep.
like he just takes it to a whole new fucking level. Like I don't.
horror has
Jess, you haven't
evolved.
seen either of those?
No, I've seen Midsummer. I haven't seen Heredity.
Okay.
Midsummer
Oh,
is
is it
much
Heredity?
less
It's not
disturbing.
Hereditary?
Oh, you
As-
might be
as
right. Please don't
I
Hereditary.
always
quote me.
struggle with the title.
It's
because I always
right.
get it
A lot.
wrong.
But
It's-
yes, let's do that. And I think that
That's
it
the
is
right
a good
order to watch it. First, you watch Midsummer, then you watch Heredity. So Midsummer would be the Friday, and Hereditary would be the Saturday.
So what I do is I
Nothing
make up a
disturbing.
list of 100 movies, and the rules are super loose. The easiest way I think to do it is one movie a day. But if you gather them all up and binge watch them on the weekend, that's cool. However, you want to do it, it's fine. There hasn't been anybody who's finished the challenge yet. It is on the honor system.
Wow, really?
So if you get
Have you?
through, I've only got to 52.
I got to
52
50.
is my number.
I've got to 54
Wow.
last year.
Wow. In a
He
row?
thought he was like,
No,
yeah,
it
Yeah.
doesn't have. It's in a row,
It
but it
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
to-
to be on the days.
It- It doesn't
Well,
have
I
to be on
watched
the days.
multiple. So I ended my watching before the 54th day, but I'd
Mhm.
watched multiples to kind of try to keep up. So in case I had a bad
Okay.
night.
keep
So you
ahead.
could just get a bottle of Dexatrim and start
Yeah.
on October 1st and
Yeah,
just
you could.
watch them all.
You
binge,
could.
yeah,
You
binge
could watch
them.
3 a
But
day.
I don't recommend that because
You'll want to kill yourself.
the only-
Because you'll lose
the-
your mind.
So
The
the only
Dexatrim will
reason-
not make it better.
it
You
won't.
guys don't
it
even know
won't.
what Dexatrim is, right? It was over the
It's
counter.
a diet drug,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But it was over the counter when I was young. Well, I was not taking
It
it.
made-
I was too young for that. But
It made you crazy though, right? Like it made you kind of.
I don't know.
Like
I have 5
caffeine
sisters.
pills?
There's a lot of Dexatrim running around. Caffeine pills are fine. They don't make you crazy.
But the thing is, people think that people drop out of the challenge because they don't have the time to do it. And certainly
Yeah.
that's probably true for a lot of people. But I think it's that you can't watch people being murdered and maimed and killed and haunted over and over and over again for more than a couple of days in a row without being like, okay, I'm done with this. So
I'll tell
psychically,
you-
it's hard to make it to
Right.
the end.
I'll
Right.
tell you, for me, it wasn't the murder and maiming that took me out. It was the bad movies. Like I could not watch another
Mm.
bad movie. And so like I do want to try to see if we can elevate some, at least the weekends.
Maybe you should
Um,
give somebody $1 million for watching the whole 100, and then you'll
I
get
don't-
people to fucking do it.
I don't
If
have
I had $1 million, I wouldn't even. You guys wouldn't even know me.
I know, but like you would not. I mean, you would not just get a vax, get a jab for 5 seconds. You would watch a fucking 100 horrible horror movies, which, by the way, has never been done. Right? It may be humanly impossible to do.
It's the biggest challenge on the internet.
You know, like eating like 100 eggs in a minute or something. You're like, I could do it. It's like no one can do it. Like,
nobody can eat 52 eggs.
Or whatever it is. Yeah, like no one can do it.
So I have a prize. I do have a prize. Okay. I'm not telling anybody what it is.
Wow.
But
it might as well be $1 million.
It might as well be $1 million. It's not. It's not even close to that. But it's just a little prize for the person who does complete it. But you know, this is a challenge of honor. So don't just, you know, if you fake it just to get the little prize, okay, sure, you got a free little prize, but your honor is not intact. This is a game of honor. So don't abuse it just to get some stupid prize.
You have to gin up some actual competition. And thank you for that Star Trek episode name, because I love Star Trek. Cat's Paw. Cat's Paw was the one where they went back in time. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Cam.
There are only 3 plots in Star Trek, and one of them is going back in time.
I actually think TOS is rather sophisticated. The first half hour really sets the scene, character development, setting, theme, and then the plot really emerges about midway. I mean, so you're watching Star Trek and you think it's going to be a slog, but man, it has an arc. It's pretty good. So and it had to. It was like silent, like talkies or silent movies before talkies. They had to have a lot more going for them because there was no bells and whistles. This was pretty. Yeah, so you're a big Star Trek fan, but you still think it's only 3 plots. Don't tell me the plots, otherwise it'll ruin it for me. It's like being high and watching SpongeBob. You don't want to do it.
Well, now
for your psychic health, you don't want to do it.
No. You still have little kids, man. You can't afford to take the risk. Don't do it.
So there's this. Okay,
watch Rick and Morty.
Have children. I love Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
I don't have children, but I went to go stay with a friend when she had her baby because she also had a toddler and she was going back to work. And I thought, I'll go help her. Instead of buying her a diaper genie, I'll go help her for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Right.
And that involved me sitting and hanging out with her toddler. Well, toddlers watch this weird level of television that nobody knows about, but it's psychically disturbing. And there is a show called Coco Melon that if you watch it while you're stoned, you will attain a level of psychological horror that it will take weeks for you to like detach from. And I don't know why we show this to children. Like
it's the ultimate black pill. Then you're like, oh God.
I have so many things to say about children's programming.
This is what they're doing to the people who are supposed to save us. Like the people who are supposed to pay our Social Security. Like,
there's terrible
like it's maybe a good thing they're all going to be sterilized.
So we'll slip a Coco Melon episode into the 100 Nights of Horror Challenge just to really fuck with people.
Oh, that is the favorite thing that you ever said for me. Like, that's even better than Cock Aperture. That is true. Coco Melon as horror movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can talk about both in the same episode. So
that has to be like the Thursday or the Sunday around the Hereditary guy.
Yeah.
So, Jessica, add Hereditary and Midsummer back to the list because
you took it
Monica
off?
has spoken.
No.
Okay. We're just starting the list.
How could you have 100 and not have those two?
So I have a list and it's a running list. And anything that I don't watch from the year previous, I roll over to the next list. So I have a system. And then I try to, I get like Korean horror films.
Sounded like you said Korean horror.
Yeah, Korean horror.
It's horror.
Horror. The Korean horror film.
Otherwise, it sounds like horror. People like want to go to the horror house. It's like, it's not a horror house. It's a horror.
So we do some of the Asian stuff, which is really great because their versions of horror are not based on the same tropes as ours.
Yes.
They're really unique.
Nice.
And then also like horror movies from the 60s that you brought your date to, not to watch, but to make out. And there's no plot.
Sister. Did you get the Kenneth Anger stuff? The stuff where like Sharon Tate's last movie where then she was like ritually murdered right after?
No! Whoa. I'm going to get that right now.
Fuck yeah.
Sharon Tate murder movie.
It was the last movie she did. It was like a satanic, and look up Kenneth Anger and stuff. But wait, too many things. Let's blow my mind. Any other cultures that have unique takes on horror.
I can't imagine anything more horrifying than Russian, though. But the one Russian movie I watched last year was not good.
Oh,
There was a Russian series. Somebody gave me a series. It was really very probably expensive and thoughtful gift, although it was so black pilly, I could not get through five. It was called The Decalogue. The Decalogue. It was Russian, and I think it was like basically the same. You know, it was reminiscent of the movie Seven, where it went through the 7 cardinal sins. This was deadly sins, whatever. This was the 10 Commandments, and each one was 45 minutes or an hour. And it was just if you didn't know it was like a 10 Commandment thing, you wouldn't know. And it was just, and I wouldn't like say it raised the level of horror, but very dark drama.
do you remember what it was called?
Decalogue?
Decalogue. So,
Because that's how I get titles right there.
Yeah, you got him.
put
That's
Decalogue on.
And also,
You don't have to do it; just screen it. But it's an idea.
Sharon, I'm gonna put it on there. Sharon Tate's last movie was Valley of the Dolls, 1967.
Well, Valley of the Dolls was about Dexatrin, but you know, it was about pills. So it's definitely not that. Yeah, Valley of the Dolls was about the like glitterati taking pills to stay thin and everything. The dolls were the pills.
Okay. So yeah, they mixed this up. Tate's last film was The Fearless Vampire Killers, and it was directed by her future husband Roman Polanski.
Oh,
yeah. What does it say?
And
Kenneth Anger.
And then it was released after her death. Okay, Kenneth Anger. Let me.
Kenneth Anger, Sharon Tate. I'm gonna find it.
And he was related.
I mean, that's what it sounds like a vampire. The Devil and the Kenneth Anger, the inventor of celluloid, Bobby Beausoleil. Yes, these are Charles Manson. They were all part of it.
Ooh, this is a deep dive. I'm gonna have to go into this. Like,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
no
worries.
You know, maybe I'm wrong.
I think we're gonna have more fun this year than ever before, Jessica.
Yeah, the Sharon Tate one, you'll find it. That sounds right. I don't know of her being in any other horror movies, but I'm gonna see.
We're gonna make a special episode because we're planning on doing episodes for 100 Nights, independently from the podcast, I believe. Yeah. Right, Cam? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sharon Tate's last movie, and then all of the stuff surrounding her murder, I think would make a fascinating 100 Nights episode, because she was killed by the Manson family. For those of you who don't know, she was pregnant at the time. It was a huge splashy Hollywood murder. Yeah, it was.
And
there
was a lot of like backstory with them, with the Satanism, Charles Manson, all those guys. And Roman Polanski had that weird pedophile thing where he was on the run. I think he is still. I don't think is he. Did he?
Well, that's where Ghislaine Maxwell hid. Was the same place he was before she just
really
up in Rhode Island.
I was thinking she's dead because we haven't seen a fresh picture of her in years. You think you have, but you have not. And
there's
I don't know
her eye, her messed up eye. Did you? Guys see
that was
one?
After I started talking about it, and that's happened before. It's a super weird picture. I mean, that's just not like a picture of her in a courtroom. Like, it's just a weird. I'm not buying it. Like, it might be her, but like I don't think she's in jail. I don't know.
So I know you have a hard out in about 2 minutes, but I have a couple more questions for you before we wrap up. One is, since we talked about white pills, outside of the grand scheme, I mean, you can go grand scheme or political or whatever, but what is, it can be personal, it can be very close to you, but what is a white pill that you would like to share with our audience that they could microdose, that they could use and think about, that might help them find the means to continue on?
Okay, it's what I was sitting on a plane once, and I was reading a book. I was reading the Yoga Sutras by Swami Satchidananda. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, but it was written by Swami Satchidananda. It was great. And the guy next to me, can I tell I got it just a minute. I'll tell you a story. Okay. So the guy next to me was from India, and he said, I must disturb you. Like, I can't believe you're reading that book. Like, I know people your age in my country who don't even know about that book, which really horrified me because it's a great book. And he was telling me about how like he returned to that practice and the study and all that. And he said, I was so fallen away. I was so fallen away. You have to understand, I was so fallen away. I was eating beef. And I was like, oh. And he was like, I mean, you don't understand how serious that is. I was like, okay. And now, like, when people do things that like really offend my morals, like extreme, like consumption or like extreme materialism, like real conspicuous consumption, like sometimes just grosses me out. Like it just turns me off totally. And I think I'm like, oh yeah, like you just don't even want to be around it. Ugh. So that was his story. So I sit next to him and we got to talking and I said, oh, you know, like my life is hard. I had 3 babies in diapers and 1 had Down syndrome and I had to take him to we were moving and I had to take him in advance to like check out schools, this kid with Down syndrome. And I was in first class with him and he was a nightmare, this kid, a nightmare. And the guy, some other guy in first class was just like berating me like publicly. It's like I was crying and stuff. And when I told my husband the story, it was like, a guy like that needs to have his own jet. And if he doesn't have his own jet, he can shut the fuck up. And I was like, good point. But I wasn't thinking that. So I was telling the story to this guy and he said to me, you must understand, the source of his agitation was within him. And I was like, oh, you're right. He's an asshole because he's miserable. And I was like somebody in extreme need and pain. And it was very obvious. And he just was not there. And forever after that, I think whether it's when that happens to me or when I am that person, you know, I'm never like that. That is not my style. But like when I don't realize like I'm annoyed when someone didn't like clean the kitchen properly, I'm not going to like berate them, but you know, like I don't like it. And I'm like, okay, the source of my agitation is within me. And like when I look around at all this stuff, like I think, you know, it's my old kind of standby, which is either there's a God and this totally doesn't matter, or there isn't a God and it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like then it really does. Then you got 80 years just partying. Definitely don't worry about anything else. Maybe don't have any kids, but you know, if there is a God, then like we're sharing this burden. You have the kids if they're, you know, like, I don't know. But the point is like, you have the source of your agitation is within you.
That's good.
I love that.
Good. It
And
was
so that's good.
You know, fun to know. Like
And
it was
so-
a good experience to know that.
Yeah.
I will let you go after this, but I have 2 more questions.
Go ahead. Mhm.
First one being, what is your favorite thing about Jessica Green?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I have a favorite thing. And it's that she seems to have been doing whatever she was doing for 90 minutes straight. And she is just as cheerful and clear-headed and clear-eyed as the moment we started. I ain't doing hardly nothing. And my hair's a mess. I'm hot. Like, what the hell? Like, whatever, you know? And I think that is a white pill. That's very cheerful. And my mother always told me, she's like, basically, this is a mother who, she was like 5 years depressed after her 5th kid. She had 9 kids altogether. And she would say, you know, if you think someone's looking at you, there's a camera around or whatever, just make sure you're smiling. And I'm like, really? And, you know, my entire life, I'm just like, oh my gosh, somebody's looking at me. I'm like, oh, you know, and that it changes everything. It changes the source of the agitation dissipates. And, you know, it's just a great philosophy. And she's just such a simple person, would never really go out of her way to tell you anything. But every once in a while she says, you're so much prettier when you smile. And you're just like, oh, really?
My philosophy is to laugh without abandon. We only have a short time on this earth. And if you can find a little bit of joy in that moment, just take it. Like, there's no reason not to.
That's all we can do. We can 9 to 5, we can save the world. And then the rest of the time, we got to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I just feel like I want to save the world less than I want to have a good time.
Yeah, well, you're saving the world with your garden, my dear. And if other people don't have a garden, well, that's their problem.
Yeah.
You know what I
right.
mean? They
That's
can
right.
save their world in their time. You're saving your world.
Yep.
That's right.
So here's the corollary. What's your favorite thing about me?
Oh my gosh. Can I be super superficial?
You can be. It's if you say my beard though, it's been done.
No, it's not your beard. It's your new tattoo.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Yay, that's a good one.
It is
I
as
have-
superficial as a thing can be, but I love it.
I do too. I have another one planned.
I don't want to know about you. Leave that for Paul. And
No, I have a really cool tattoo plan next because I'm gonna fill up this arm and then I'm gonna move to this arm. and
Nice.
It's gonna be very much me.
You know what I
But-
make my kids? I tell them if they're going to get a tattoo, they have to do one thing. It's a ripoff of Thomas Jefferson's idea for a law. You got to do it all. Get your colored pencils. Have your tattoo guy put it on a piece of paper. Whatever. Do the whole thing exactly like it's going to be the right size and everything. And you thumbtack it to your bathroom wall, and you leave it there for a year. You put the date on it, and every day you walk past it. Every day. And if at the end of 1 year that is still the tattoo you want, then you get it. And Thomas Jefferson wanted to do that with laws.
This was my first tattoo.
Interesting.
Oh, I love
I
it.
I sat on this tattoo for 2 years
Yep.
before I got it.
And you hid it
This
under
one-
your arm.
This one's 2 minutes. I was just like, hell yeah, let's do it, man.
Well, you're experienced. You're experienced.
But this one,
The anchor is
my-
beautiful.
Mhm.
my rattlesnake is a liberty tattoo, but
Right.
it is a liberty tattoo insofar as you can't see it behind me. I have a Gadsden flag, but the reason I went with an American traditional realistic looking snake was because I didn't want blue line people to talk to me like we had anything in common. I just you stay away. You stay away from
Ew.
me. That is
Well, the
not, that is
snake
not my
thing-
jam.
It has so many. If you go to any kind of like deeper mystical meaning on the snake, it's not really Satan. They say that like the Satan thing was to distract you from the power of the snake.
Hmm.
You might want to dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, my mom hates it because it's a snake, and
Yeah, but you
Satan,
might
but-
find that there's a reason that you picked the snake. Even like over time, it might become even richer in meaning. Is all I'm suggesting.
I love it because he's a great tattoo artist. And
Can I see his face a little bit more? The snake.
let's see if I can do that.
If anyone can do it, Cam. Oh yeah, your art tattoo artist is fantastic. I feel like no one should get a tattoo except for by your tattoo artist.
Dude, Corey Kraft
I'm not kidding. Like
is
they're
the man.
that's just it's art.
But so that was the thing is I told him I wanted a rattlesnake, and I told him, maybe make it yellow because I was trying to nod to this. And then he goes, hey, do you like it if I use this Sailor Jerry flash as an inspiration? And I was like, Sailor Jerry? Hell yeah, dude. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit what color it is.
Who's Sailor
Do
Jerry?
it. Sailor Jerry is the man who essentially created American traditional tattoos.
Oh,
the ones you saw
wow.
with,
All
with,
right.
with sailors and all. He has a liquor, a rum, and in every single bottle of rum, there's one of his original flash tattoo designs. On
Have
the
you had the
inside.
rum?
Oh, I have it all the time.
Oh
It's
my
one-
gosh,
it's
is
one
it
of my
great? Because it's
favorites.
hard to find a really good rum. Rums are so cheap. But I have one
So,
more
okay.
question about the tattoo.
Real quick, if you want a good rum, like Sailor Jerry's good. It's high proof. It's I think it's like 90 proof. It's good.
I don't like high
If you
proof,
want-
but okay.
If you want a good rum, I tried the Pyrat, Pyrat. That shit is fire. Get yourself. It is a spiced rum, so you're drinking that by
Actually, I need a
itself.
good spiced rum. I have Kraken.
Hurrah.
It's okay. I have. I
Sorry.
like just as generally rum. I like Kahlua. I like Mount Gay Eclipse because I make drinks with rum. But like a lot of rum is just one dimensional. I can't stand it.
If you want a
I'm
good
totally
spiced
getting
rum,
there.
Pyrat, Pyrat.
I'm like
I-
looking at it, wondering when the liquor store is closed. So.
So ask me about tattoos.
No,
That's my
I have
favorite
to.
thing.
I have to repay my my wine delivery man with some wine companionship. But I have one more question about the snake.
Go for it.
Is there what do they say about snakes? Like yellow and black and green, about poisonous, never fear.
Oh,
what's your
red
snake?
on yellow kills a fellow. Red on black, you're okay, Jack. This is a rattlesnake, so it's
So
just
rattlesnakes
dangerous.
are scary.
Yeah, they're
You're
they're
supposed to be
scary,
scared
and
of
that's
them.
why that's the point of the Gadsden flag, which is if you
Oh, don't
step
tread on me, or I
I'm
will.
gonna fuck you up. Yeah,
Just with venom, not with force.
right. I'll kill you.
Nice. On that note.
So with that,
Great place
thank
to
you for
end.
coming back on.
Thank you. That was so
I-
fun.
Cheers,
I need you to
Monica.
know I adore you. You're one of
Well,
my favorite people to talk to.
Thank you. We are certainly getting into a groove. I feel like we're elevating to a higher level, but it could be the wine. I don't know.
We're definitely looking forward to having you on for the 100 Nights Challenge.
Dude,
and we'll
The
definitely have some
Heredit-
podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone can handle those movies.
My
you might
wife
need me.
my wife watched Hereditary, and no shit.
Don't
The
just
other
say
night,
no spoilers.
I won't
Yeah.
spoil it, but no shit. The other night I was talking to her, and I was like, we're gonna do the 100 Nights of Horror again.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're not gonna watch Hereditary again, are you? We watched Hereditary not with 100 Nights of Horror, but probably 2 or 3 years ago. And she goes, seriously, still, it
Yeah.
lingers with me.
Yeah, I told
Whoa.
somebody to
It's
watch
that
it once,
horrifying.
and like that person just came back to me and was like, "What the fuck were you thinking? Why would you tell me to watch that? Like, what the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought you guys liked horror. I didn't know." It's like, well, that was just no. I was like, "Oh, okay." Okay.
We will discuss this and
Yes.
also
Yes.
Lars von Trier.
I think Eye of the Devil is the Sharon Tate movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I will write that
But
down.
with that, I will start rolling us out. So if you want to find Miss Monica Perez, who is a treat, she's on Twitter at Monica Perez Show.
Mhm.
Very easy to find. It's her name. If you aren't listening to the propaganda report, you're dumb, and you should be, because not
Nerd.
only is Monica wonderful, but Brad Binkley, holy shit, that dude, he's great. And you can find that on any of your favorite podcatchers, as well as thepropreport.com.
But
where
we're
she
so
has-
much more fun on your shows.
well,
Did
I
Brad
need
tell
to
you
bring
that
you
I
back
knew
together.
him? That we
What?
used to drink to? Did Brad
Oh,
Binkley
he
tell you
told
that I
me
knew?
that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
We used to drink at the same bar. I totally
Yes.
know him.
So funny. I know, that's crazy. That's Atlanta.
It's a small
Yep.
world, man.
So
Um,
yeah, thank you.
And if you like booze,
Oh, Elijah
just so
Craig.
you know, I have been drinking Angel's
Oh.
Envy all
Oh,
night.
I don't know that at all.
It is a bourbon that is
Good, 'cause I
aged
don't
in
like
a port
Elijah Craig.
cask.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. If you want to get something good that's according to Pilar is not actually done by them, it's just aged by them. Michter's fantastic
How do
bourbon.
you spell that?
Michters.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I have a few notes for the audience.
Father's Day
before
is coming.
You roll out. Guys, please make sure to like and subscribe to the video while you're here, because that bumps us up in the algorithm, and we get all kinds of new features and fun stuff for you guys if you do that. So please do that. And shit, what was the other thing I was gonna say? I don't remember now. Do the rest of your thing. Sorry.
I don't know. But I was going to say also, Monica, like me, is a fan of the alcoholic arts. And I don't mean that in the bad way of alcoholic. I just mean things with alcohol in them. So if you want to join her drinking journey, she is a mixologist of her own. And so if you go to monicamixes.com, you can
Yes.
follow the things that she does
Oh,
in the
nice.
enjoyment of liquor. So do that.
On
Also,
it.
I feel like we just need to talk at some point about liquor for an entire episode.
Totally fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, we
whiskey in
could-
particular.
I don't know if we could talk about liquor the whole time, but you could come on one of the DPPs and we could talk
I
a
could.
little bit about it. Like people just can't just do that the whole time. It's a little unstructured.
I agree. I agree. But bourbon is one of the most interesting situations because of how regulated it is, and it's dumb.
Ah.
See, that's a
It's-
good That's an interesting
Okay.
thing to talk about.
So it's
We talk about nothing on the DPPs though. That's the thing. With the idea
Well,
of
hey.
talking about something kind of intimidates
right.
me. Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Well,
It's
here's the thing.
literally
If-
everyone telling you what they're drinking. That's
if
it.
I come on the DPP, I will say whatever's on the top of my drunk
That's
mind.
all we can do. That's all you can do. But we don't
So-
do guests very often. Like that's our thing. It's like we're all just, in our underwear in the backyard or whatever. Like
One of
I
your
remember
followers
the
said
thing now.
something about how they watched an episode, I think, with you and Brad on it or something, and they were like, "It's not as good as a DPP," and I'm like, "Because it's not a DPP, my friend.
well, the DPP
This is a conversation
it
between
disappears.
friends."
Yeah, it disappears, so we just get stupid. It's just
You were
so
on
stupid.
Rockfin.
Yeah, Rockfin. Yeah.
I've decided to move to there from locals,
Right.
but I can't get them to
Oh.
answer my emails.
Oh
If you
yeah.
can
Oh,
help
I
me
can
out.
answer on Rockfin. Absolutely,
Help me.
100%. I would love to. Yeah. No problem.
Help me, because I
so-
have an episode that
My
I
word
want to
is
put
gold.
on there. Hey, I believe you.
You have to join it.
I did.
Okay.
I remember the
I
other
mean,
thing I was going to
they
say.
have
though,
to make
guys.
you a creator. God,
Yeah, they're just slow.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I was going to say is if any of the audience members have horror movie suggestions, please send them to me at
Nice,
Soup
yeah.
Canarchist on Twitter.
Oh,
And
yes.
I will consider putting them on my list.
all right. I'm gonna get
I
some
have
for
veto
you.
power, though. I have to let you know.
Cam thinks he has veto power.
I have to tell you, there were some shitty ass movies I watched last year, Jessica, and I won't watch again.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay.
All right.
So, with that, upcoming episodes. This Sunday, new edition, Nick Picone from Sounds Like Liberty turned into Peace Freaks. One of our best podcast friends. I'm excited for it. Following that, the partner of Miss Monica Perez, Mr. Brad, aka Jar Jar Binkley.
I love
Bad
I love
Brad.
him. I'm so excited to have him back. If you didn't realize, this is Friend Month. We just invited, with the exception of one person, friends of the show, people that we
Nice.
genuinely
Nice.
adore. So
And we're gonna
following
make
him,
Jeremy Kaufman our friend.
we
so.
sure as shit are. I feel like we've had a good run with that, minus one notable exception. I think you know who you are. You're not watching though. Why would you watch? Jeremy Kaufman following Mr. Brad Binkley, the founder of Odyssey and Library, who is currently being
Oh, cool.
screwed by the SEC and the feds. And I think that's a
Seriously?
good conversation and an important conversation to have. Followed by the best man, the man who bought me this microphone, Mr. Dent
Oh, that's a
from
beautiful microphone.
Zen Pro Audio is coming on. He's just a good friend and a good man. He's coming on at the end of the month. I think that's our last for May, and
That
then
is
we move
one
into June.
sexy microphone.
Thank you.
Talent.
It's a Shure.
I know. I have.
And then the next month, June, we're moving towards episode 100, which I'm working very hard for a special 100th episode. I have not given that away yet. We'll see what happens. If you want to find me, the best looking half-shaved head motherfucker on Twitter, at Cam Harless. If you want to find the very thick-dicked Miss Soup Canarchist on Twitter, it's at Soup Canarchist.
You're a conservative Christian podcast.
It was Thaddeus Russell who called us that.
Thaddeus Russell thought we were a Christian podcast.
We
Wow.
are-
Is that why
Yeah.
you came on? To blow you up?
No,
No.
Cam just mentioned that he was Christian while he was talking, and the guy ran with it, and he didn't realize that we're like,
Ran
you know,
hard.
degenerates also. Like, so yeah, he called me a 12th century peasant, and that I just do what my priest tells me to do. And I'm like, all right, buddy. I mean,
No.
I did cocaine
Well,
in a bathroom
He
with
didn't
a
even
drag
answer
queen
my
a couple
email,
years ago,
so I was a little scared of him
Yeah.
anyway, so whatever. Good.
but yeah.
Better you than me.
So-
That's all I gotta say.
For now, we're on
I mean,
locals.
he's a genius, but geniuses are prickly.
I loved his book. Dealing with him in
Yeah.
person is special. Like most
Funny.
It is.
interesting
Geniuses,
men.
man. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Take him or leave him.
So for the moment, we're on locals, but hopefully, with Monica's help, we'll be on Rockfin soon.
Totally.
And that
I get
episode
right on it.
that OPSEC Drip pulled from our feed, you'll be able to find there behind what's called a paywall if you want to see it. If you want to see me devolve in a very real way on video.
I'm gonna send Rockfin this video, not that video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't because I have it.
Right. Got
I
it.
have it
It's in
hidden
the
because
vault.
YouTube was like, hey, now your guest talked about hitting someone in the face and getting paid to do so. So let's look at that. Beyond that, we have t-shirts. I sent one to Monica. She hasn't gotten it yet.
I know.
Maybe
I
someone's
would have
hiding
worn
it
it.
from
I
her.
was looking forward to it.
And also, if you want to listen to this show, best way to do it is either on Odyssey or on YouTube, where you can see the video, so you can see Monica's pretty face as she talks to us. It's the best way to do it. If you want to listen, mlganetwork.com is a good way to listen to ours, as well as some very good Liberty podcasts, or wearethemadOnes.com to just listen to us. If you want some good ass Italian coffee, go to laurenzotti.coffee.
Yes.
And use the promo code The Mad Ones and get 10% off your order.
That's awesome.
If you want some software solutions, burgetdev.net. If you want to listen, if you want to do what I do and what Jessica does and what Monica does and sound really good,
I don't do anything.
zenproaudio.com. Dent will make you happy.
Yeah.
And then finally, if you're not listening to Pilar Petrie on OPSEC Drip, you're a freaking nerd. And you should be listening to that. So with that, I have a stupid video to watch, and then we'll hit the outro. How's that sound, Monica?
Okay.
You're my favorite.
In the studio this morning, one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Sure. Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
He says I'm gay.
You are gay.